Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. It is Friday. It's the penultimate Friday of July and 22nd of July. And what a great day it's been for trading. Not so much for value investing. I mean, the overall S&P 500 didn't have a great day. It was down at kind of 1.2% down on the day. But from a day trading perspective, what a great day. Volatility galore, volume galore. There were so many parabolic movers today. We had at least half a dozen stocks that moved up over 60, 70% and beyond. And good moves as well. So we've had a good day. We've had a really good day's trading today, as you can probably sense from my tone. I'm in a very happy mood at the moment. So happy Friday. I'm celebrating with a nice drop of the old Vino Roja, and we saw so much moving today. It was kind of a, you had to make a decision on what you were going to trade. I don't want to be one of those people that suffers from shiny object syndrome. You look at the next best thing kind of thing, the next thing that looks good, and I'd rather not be. I'd rather pick a stock and trade it and get my gains, and when it stops moving, then look for something else. If something else is moving in the meantime and it's moving more volatile, then fine, so be it. Now, we traded 3 stocks today. I traded 1 stock pre-market. It was moving in sympathy to Bitcoin that was moving up pre-market, that then decided to sell. We managed to get $150 out of that. And so that was Stronghold Digital. Then we traded TBLT pre-market. Now, that's a TBLT is a ticker. So TBLT, we came into the market and we found it difficult to trade TBLT, if I'm being completely honest, to start off with. We got faked out a couple of times. We were about, one stage we were about $1,800 down, and then we made some of that back. We're about $450 down on TBLT. However, then we jumped into we were trading Pagaya Technology, and Pagaya Technology moved up 165% today. And we managed to capitalize on that. And we traded Pagaya Technology on to the upside. So if you were tuned into my early stream, my live day trading stream first thing, then you'll have seen me trading Pagaya Technology. We took over $6,500, well, almost $6,500 from Pagaya Technology just after the bell. Then TBLT started to move. It did a bit of a kind of a dip and then rip kind of move at the open. It sold off a little bit and then it moved, and boy did it move. It ended up 63% up on the day. So big moves from TBLT, and some good pattern breakouts as well. So as a momentum stock trader, as a pattern, a pattern breakout trader, as a day trader, I like to trade pattern breakouts. TBLT had some really clear pattern breakouts, and it really went well for us. So then we traded Pagaya again a little bit later, and boy did that move. That's $4 or $5 in a couple of minutes. It was absolutely mental. It really was. It was great. Granted, it was difficult to manage risk because the moves were so volatile, and the spreads were anywhere between kind of 4 and 20 cents. But it was clean. It was relatively clean. There was no stalling and then big pullbacks, no big flushes that weren't preempted with the relevant signals, exit signals, etc. So we were able to trade that 163%. That moved up today, and we got a large chunk of that move. So how did we finish? Well, let me show you. We finished $42,500 up on the day. $42,500. How did we do that? Well, we managed to do that 30,000, over $31,000 on PGY Technologies. But this is the thing. PGY, it went parabolic today on a couple of occasions. If you were in the earlier live trading stream that I was in, you would have seen me trading PGY, and finished just almost $6,500 up on the day when I finished the earlier stream. That was this piece here. So we traded this on the move up, and when we got stopped out, when we started to pull back a little bit, that's when we finished. We were looking at potentially going for a walk at that stage, but that's when we traded tough built. But we also came back to this later. So we were walking the dog when this came, and we came back home. It was just consolidating. But then we got this move up here, and we managed to jump on this move here, and it's a good $4 move. So the last the highest exit that we got was 413, and the high of the day was 417. So we took profits at pretty much the top of this move. It did start to pull back, and we got stopped out on the rest of the position that we were in. But great move up. We made $6,000 on this move here. There's a good $6 move from kind of just over $5 to over $11, and we made a lot more on this move here. We actually made over $20,000 on this move here. So why is that? Well, because it was a cleaner move. We had between 2,500 and 5,000 shares at any given time when we were on this move here that gave us the $6,000 that we had with that. We were between 5,000 and 10,000 shares on this move up here, and as I say, it was a good $4 move. So if I'd just entered with 10,000 shares and rode it up to the end, I would have had 40,000 on that move alone. But I was taking profit, I was managing risk, I was adding to the position, taking profit, managing risk as well. So it all comes with that. But PGY Technologies, huge move. So between yesterday's closing price and the peak today, 165%. So huge move, a lot of clean moves, but it was great. That wasn't the only move that we got today. So we did. I mentioned that after our first trade with PGY, we'd already traded tough built pre-market, and on the move up, we kind of we lost. We were down about $1,800, and then we made some money back. So we got in here and we lost about $1,800, and then we made some on the way back. So about $450 coming into this period here. So we lost $450 down. It did pull back at the open, but then it started to make its move up, and we were trading PGY up until about 10:30 when it started to pull back. And this is where tough built started to move. And I called this out again. We were streaming live, just about to end the live stream as scheduled after the first hour of the market open. And I was about to take the dog for a walk, but I saw this move up, and we got the pullback. And it started to move again. So I thought, okay, the dog can wait. I'll trade this. And I got in. And not only did I make did I make the losses back, but we finished, when we got stopped out, we finished about $450 up on the day. So that was a good move. And then we went and walked the dog. We came back. It had moved up and come back, and then we got in here for the break of $8 on the way back. So this is about 11:30. 11:20, 11:30, that kind of time. So we got in for the break of $8. It had its pullback. It started to move up again, and I'm kind of looking for an entry. But I thought, okay, well, if it breaks $8 and holds, that's what we'll look for. So it broke $8, came back down below $8, and then moved up again. So that's when we entered, and we got in for $8 here, and we rode it up, took some profits, and then we got stopped out. We were able to ride it up again, right up to the peak, and take some profits before we got stopped out. It did pull back, and it pulled back heavily. And what I was able to call out on and the reason I'm showing the 5-minute chart here is what I was able to call out in the Discord, the Day Trade with Tony Discord, is that there's a double bottom. Now, the double bottom doesn't have to be to the cent, just has to make this W formation. So we've got a W formation here. Now, we were down here around kind of 850 again. So it had made the majority of this, but it's on its way back up. And so I'm calling out in the Discord, I'm saying, okay, it looks like it potentially could be a double bottom formation. Watch for the break of 870. Now, the high here of this middle of the W, which is the entry signal to get in on a double bottom formation, the high here was 868, 867. So it was 868. So I'm calling it 870 just to be sure. 870, nice round number, and rounded up to the nearest 10. And so watch for the break of 870. So that's where I got in for the break of 870 and rode this all the way up. And it actually broke 930s. So there was a good 65 cent move there. We were able to take advantage of all of that. So we got some of this move up, and then we got this move up. So we're finishing over 1100 up on the day. And then we went back to trade PGY. And PGY, as I say, was very good. However, that wasn't the end of it. That wasn't the end of it. That's where we finished trading. We got up and we finished trading, and we were kind of 42,000 up on the day. Fantastic. Fantastic. Those kind of days don't come along too often. So there was other things that were moving. There was a lot of things that were moving. So I called out, whilst we were on the live stream, I don't normally trade the lower price stocks, the penny type stocks. So I don't normally call these out, or I don't normally trade them. But I was calling this out, and we saw that TKLF moved up 77%. So on the day, most of this out of the block. So it moved up, and in the first 10 minutes of the day, this moved up, and it moved up 77%. So this was a big mover on the day, and again, that wasn't the only one. So whilst we were trading TKLF, we had other stocks as well. So Kid Pick moved up later in the day, so with the ticker PIC. And that moved up 88% on the day. So this didn't really do much. It was very low volume up until after lunchtime. It moved up a little bit from kind of 11 a.m. market time, then consolidated again, but that was on low volume. Then the volume came in just after 1 p.m. and it moved up, and it moved up with great volume, good volume down here, but great volatility, some good moves. Pull back and then a nice move up. Pull back and then a nice move up. And then it kind of pulled back and consolidated for a little while. So again, Kid Pick, 88% up on the day. It's another parabolic mover. The biggest mover on the day was actually HKD. So this was AMT Digital, I think, but trading under the ticker HKD. Now the thing is with this one. So if I go back to the kind of 15-minute chart here and zoom in, you can see the kind of moves that this made today. It moved from just under $20 and moved all the way up to a high of $7. It went into a halt here. It halted on multiple occasions, up and down across the day, but it moved up into a halt at $70.98, so $71 from just under $20. That's a $50 move across the day. Now, let's just put this into perspective. If you had a $5,000 account and you got 4 times leverage from your broker, let's say Interactive Brokers or TD Ameritrade or whoever, and they're giving you 4 times leverage, you could have got in on this one with $5,000 of leverage, bought $20,000 worth of stock, i.e. 1,000 shares, and rode this all the way up $70. Over $70. That's a $50 move. So think about that for a second. If you got a $50 move and you've got 1,000 shares, that's $50,000 that you could have made on this move. That's from a $5,000 equity position. So you would have made 10 times your equity in one single trade with this stock. Now, granted, it's unusual for that to happen, but it just goes to show that that can happen. If you pick the right stock and you trade it the right way, you could get 10x your equity in a single day. Now, you would have had to have been all in, and you would have had to have had very poor risk management and not taking profits along the way, or you could have actually made more during the course of the day if you had been taking profits and you've been timing them correctly and riding the dips and selling the highs and buying the lows and riding it all the way up. That being said, it moved up huge amounts across the course of the day, 230% before it closed, 230%. Huge gains, over 230%. So huge gains. It just goes to show that volatility is back. Not often do we get parabolic movers like this, and there was so many parabolic movers today. Not often do we get parabolic movers like this, but we actually got AMTD idea group. So AMTD, which is related and moved up in relation to the HKD. So the AMTD digital moved up 230% on the day, but AMTD ideas in the last hour of the market. So moved up from literal, pennies, if you will, so just over a dollar per share, moved up to a high before the close, moved up to a high of 264. It actually, after hours, went up to 329. So it's still trading higher, but 120% in the last hour of the market. Volatility's back, baby. Volatility's back. Volatility and volume are the two key ingredients to successful day trading. One without the other is useless. But when they come together, my, does it work well. My, does it work well. Now, what caused all that? Maybe was the wider market, rallying, having a bull rally? No, it wasn't. Quite the opposite. Let's look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500, let me just, S&P 500, you can see here on the 15-minute chart, it came out of the blocks, moved up, but actually it moved down, then moved up, and then pulled down. It did have a little bit of a move up again then before selling off, and then sold off for the rest of the day in a very distinct downwards trend. Very distinct downwards trend. It was down about 1.2%, 1.3% at one stage. And as I'm recording this right now, it's down a percentage point, but it was down about 1.3%. This is the S&P 500. If I look at the NASDAQ, this was actually even bigger pronounced gains. This was down 2% on the day at one stage. So again, big sell-off, very strong downwards trend. So, hang on a minute, Tony. What you're saying is that the market, the wider markets, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the NYSE, they're all selling off. But you made huge gains on parabolic movers to the upside that were moving, 50, 60, 100, 200%. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. As long as the wider markets are in a pronounced trend either up or down, it creates volatility in the market. So then you find stocks to trade that are moving with volatility, and you get the volume on those stocks, and that's when you get the parabolic movers. Just because the market's selling off doesn't mean you have to go short. You're going to get stocks trading counter trending. They're going to be trading in an upwards trend when the markets are selling off. And likewise, if you're a long bias trader like I am, when the markets are bullish, you're going to get stocks trading to the upside when the market's trading to the upside. So they're going to trade with the market. So what we're looking for is markets that are trending, strong trends if possible, trending either to the downside or the upside, but they're trending one way or the other. The worst thing for a day trade is this sideways, choppy, do-nothing market that does nothing and pretty much finishes where it started. Those kind of choppy markets create fake outs and very little breakouts, and that choppy nature of the price action is very difficult to gauge, and that's when that's when I lose money most. So we've not been getting the parabolic. We're getting a couple of parabolic moves a month, maybe one a week or something like that, which not even. And when we've had those movers, they've been moving a lot of times on unreliable volume. So the volume has been, very roller coaster, up and down, up and down. Whereas today we saw continuity with both the volume and the volatility. I'm always saying that if you've not got the volatility, you don't have a trade. If you've not got the volume, you don't have the trade. So you can get big movers without any volume. And this usually takes place out of hours, and then you get the sell-off when the market opens. You can get big volume without much of a move. No, they're just trading sideways, very small range, a couple of cents. Bank of America is a perfect example. On any given day, it might trade with a 10-cent range, but it will have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of shares traded on any given day. So there's a lot of volume with something like Bank of America. But roll on Monday. That's all I'm saying. I'm excited for next week. I'm hoping that we get a bit of a continuation in the volatility in the markets. We get a bit of a continuation in the movement in the markets. I don't care. As an intraday trader, yes, I've got some long-term holdings which are suffering when the market is in a downturn. But you know what? The long-term holdings. So I don't worry about the price. I know that in the long run, they will reach all-time highs. Those holdings, and I will be quidsing because I'm not so much dollar cost averaging as lump sum averaging every lump sum investing every month. So I'm not too worried about my long-term holdings and buying into the dip and buying into the retrace and buying into the bear market. And every time it pulls back a little bit more, I'm further in the red and I'm buying more and going further in the red. I'm not worried about that because if the bear market lasted 10, 15 years, it would affect me. No bear market ever has. So I know that we'll go on to reach all-time highs, and I know those stocks and ETFs that I'm invested in, and I'm even confident that the crypto coins that I'm invested in will go on to reach all-time highs as well. So I'm not too worried about my long-term positions. But as a day trader, intraday, I don't care if the market's pulling back. I don't care if the market's rallying. I just want it to be trending. I just want it to be trending. And if it's trending, that's when we see the volatility. The volatility in the market is key for us to be able to make money in the market. We need that range. And Gaia was absolutely a stereotypical example of what we're looking for in the markets. We're looking for, fast, volatile movements, either up or down, but fast, volatile movements, reliable movements. So you see the volume coming in. Yes, it might move up 30 cents, pull back 40, then move up 60. Those kind of movements can be, to a new trader, those kind of movements can be quite shaky. They can be quite, scary. But once you work out how the market is trending, how that stock is trading, and the price action and the movements of it, it then becomes a little bit easier to predict that movement. As long as it's in an upwards trend, stays above the VWAP, for example, it pulls back to the VWAP. You don't want it breaking the VWAP. For as long as it stays above the VWAP and the movement is above the VWAP, you know it's upwards trending. So you get big volatility, big moves to the upside above the VWAP, you know you can make money. And that's what we did today. And it was a really good day, and I'm looking forward to Monday. On Monday, I'll be back at it again, 90 minutes before the market opens. So subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. You'll get notified when I'm going live. I stream live 90 minutes before the market opens. I'm trading from 2 hours, possibly trading from 2 hours before the market opens. So I may have a trade in place when I start the stream. I may not. Today I didn't, and I traded all on the stream. I was 7,000 up by the time I finished. I trade the first hour of the market as well. So 90 minutes before the market opens, the first hour of the market, come join me, watch me trade live. hopefully learn a bit about day trading. Maybe if you're an experienced trader yourself, contribute to the chat. Help us all beginner traders that come into the chat, help them out in terms of your knowledge and expertise. If you are a beginner trader, check out the links in the description below. Learn how to trade. If this is something that's of interest to you, learn how to trade. What I would say is $42,000 days don't come along every week. It's not a regular thing. It is a very big deal for me to have a $42,000 day. I set my goals at $5,000. That's what I set my goals at. So let's have a quick look at where I am month to date. I set myself a goal of $100,000 on every month. So let's have a look at where I am month to date. So here we are. This is June. So let's change these for July and find out where we are month to date. Okay, so we've got a situation right now where prior to today's gain, so just bear in mind that this is the trade profit doesn't take into account any commissions or charges that are levied based on the transactions that are made to trade. But let's just take the 61,171 as the trade profit that we had up until today. On top of that, we've got 42,564 to add to that. That puts us at a little over $103,000 trade profit on the day. Not on the day, but on the month. So my goal each month is $100,000. My goal each day is $5,000. Now, I know some days I might hit my goal, some days I might not, some days I might have a red day and lose money. But when it averages out in the long term, I want to be averaging around $5,000. You can see here that I'm currently averaging around 4,700 before today. Now, this number will go up. This is purely based on July's stats, by the way. This does not include any previous months. We'll have a look at the year to date in a second. But based on July's numbers alone, so we were a little bit behind, 4,700. So today's profits will add to that, get us above that $5,000 average per day. My largest loss is still going to be 2,400, but my largest gain now will be above that. It'll be 31,000. So 24,000 was my largest loss. Big loss, and I kind of kicked myself on that. Did recover from that actually on that relatively quickly as well. What I would say at the moment is my accuracy. So today alone, we've traded 3 tickers and we're profitable on all 3. 80%. That's a 4-to-1 accuracy from my trade selection, and that's not normal. It isn't. So let's go back to where we are at the moment. I'm holding on average about 2 hours. So from entry into a trade to finish trading it is about 2 hours. So I might get out and then re-enter. So it's the same trade. It's just, it's a different expression of the same trade. But on average, it's averaging 2 hours across July. Let me just change this for the whole year, and you'll see the difference. So the big difference for the year you can see here. So 4,500 is my average gain daily. That's not bad, but I'd like to get that up to 5,000. That is my goal. Today's gains will help with that. Probably take me up above 4,500. And what you'll see the big difference between July and now, and there's a couple of other differences, is the win versus loss rate. My accuracy is 68% versus 31%. So it's a little better than 2-to-1. Whereas in July, I'm doing 4-to-1. And across the year, I'm holding trades for about an hour as opposed to 2 hours in July. So I'm holding them longer this month. but I have a higher accuracy rate. So maybe I'm a little bit more patient with my trades, waiting for the plan to execute, but I'm not risking any more. If we go back to look at the win-loss expectation, and this is a big thing here. So 1.2 million before today, 1.2 million in gains versus almost 600k in losses. It's almost spot on for the golden ratio, the 2-to-1 ratio. Let's have a look at that again, but for July alone, and see where we actually are with that golden ratio. So 120,000 before today versus 60,000. So it was 2-to-1. Now I'm going to add another 42,000 on top of that. So we'll have 60,000 versus 160,000. So we'll be a lot better than 2-to-1. The profit loss ratio is in my favor, and it shows that I'm having a really good month in July. Maybe not to the levels of June, but we had the big gains in June at early doors, which afforded us to capitalize on that. We've got big gains today, that we've got 5 more days left in July, that potentially we could, challenge June for the best month of the year, best trading month of the year. So let's see what actually happens. If you're trading and you're not using something like TradingView, then I would recommend that you do. I would recommend that you log your trades, whether it be in a journal like TraderView, whether it be in an Excel spreadsheet, or however you do it, so you can go back and analyze your trades, good, bad, indifferent, the trades you win, the trades you lose. There's always something to learn from, and if you're learning, you can improve your trading. So I would recommend that you do that. So anyway, I've had a good weekend. I'm finishing my wine. I've got some more in the bottle. I don't want to be rude and leave it there. It will feel lonely. So I'm going to finish the wine. We've had a really good trading day. Really happy with the outcome. Of course I am. I'm more than 8 times my daily goal today. And that doesn't happen every single day. So yes, I've had a great trading day. I'm really happy about it. I'm feeling buoyant. I'm feeling confident about Monday. I'll be back at it Monday, 90 minutes before the market opens. Make sure that you join me, and also, if you've enjoyed this trade day recap, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It really helps me with the algorithm. You know you want to. In fact, go and do it now. Hit that thumbs up button. Go and do it now. You know you want to, and I'll see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, whether you're watching sports or whether you're going shopping or whatever it is you're doing, going down the beach. Enjoy your weekend. I wish I could enjoy it with you. I'll be enjoying my weekend. Have a good one. See you soon.